Hi and welcome back. So today we're going to be installing a swivel for the screen in my Tesla Model 3 so that it'll swivel 30 degrees either left or right. That's the one I got. And this is one that looks really OEM. Doesn't have like a Velcro thing to cover up the, I guess, hinge sections. It's got a real nice looking install. So I'm going to do the install. I'm going to show you how this is going to work. The kit, I'm going to just show you my kit that I got. So this is the kit that I have. You know what? Let me turn the camera around. Okay, so this is the kit that I have. And this kit does comes with instructions. And it does come with all like the tools that I'm going to need, okay? Because you're going to need a pry bar, you need a Torx, you need like a square tool for the bolts that comes with. So that we're going to be fine. Now I do have my own Torx because it'll be easier to get it in there. I don't know why that's not focusing. And I also have a 10 millimeter socket rather than trying to use this wrench they give you. So we're going to do this, and I'm going to try and get this going for you and show you. So now the first thing what we're going to do is you want to put down a microfiber cloth to protect, because you're going to be laying the screen down. The second thing is you want to put the screen in cleaning mode, because that way you don't accidentally activate things by touching it and maneuvering it, okay? So we want to be in cleaning mode. So the first step we're going to do, I'm going to try and get the camera down here and show you. Let me flip this around. This is not easy. How am I going to? Okay, so the first thing is under here, we have to pry off the, let me look. Hang on, oops. So yeah, we have to pry off this plate under here using the pry tool in that little notch. So that's where the cabin temperature sensor is. So I'm going to pry that off and then we'll continue. Okay, I've got it pried off. So now what I'm going to do is remove the cable so I can get this out of my way. And there's just a pinch here and I'm going to pull that off. So I'm going to do that, then we'll continue. Okay, so what I did, I just unscrewed this from the plate. So I'm keeping the temperature sensor. The next thing we have to do is we have to remove these two 10 millimeter bolts, which is going to free up the screen. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to unscrew those bolts. So I'm going to do that, and I will, and then I'm going to remove the screen from the car and lay it down on the microfiber. So stand by. Okay, so we've got the screen removed. Now you want to be very careful when you do this to just gently wiggle. You don't want to pull real hard so it comes flying off at you, okay? That's not the idea. So gently pull it off, and then we're going to go on to the next step. Okay, so the next step, we want to remove this surround here. And there are two Torx screws in here. We're going to remove, then we're going to remove this cable, and we can then free up this, and we'll put this on the side. We'll keep it in case we ever want to go back to this, but we're going to remove this right now. So I'm going to remove those two Torx screws. Okay, so we've freed this up, but now we have to remove this cable. And the way that we're going to do that is you lift up this white connector by pinching apart here. Well, it's not easy to see. I know you can't really see what I'm doing, and just run it up the wire. And then there's a pink little tab here. We're going to depress and pull out the wire. There we go. So we've got it out. So now I can remove this, and now this gets put on the side. And then we're going to go to the next step. Okay, so the next step is we're going to take the actual hinge mount and we're going to take the blockier, for lack of a better word, parts, and we're going to insert it in the car. And we're going to use the 10 millimeter bolts that we removed previously to screw this back in. Okay, they have to be very tight, and I'm going to probably have to swivel the swivel out of the way to access them in order to get them back in. So I'm going to turn the camera off, put the two 10 millimeter bolts that we previously removed in here, tighten them up, and we'll move on to the next step. All right, so we've got this in. You have to make sure it's very tight. You don't want this to move or wiggle at all. And this is very stiff when you have to turn it to move it out of the way. I needed 2 hands. So you really want to be careful and just make sure everything's tight. The next step is you're going to take the cover and you're going to put it on. Now the good way is this bottom piece, you want to kind of feed it in, and then you got to get it around the whole piece. Actually, I have it backwards. There you go. And we're going to get it in here. And let's see how we're going to do this. I don't want to mess this up. There we go. There we go. And now I'm going to feed the wires through here and then get this seated properly. I want to be careful, so I'm going to stop the camera, feed the wires, and seat this. But you can see how it matches the gray, matches the back of the screen. Everything is really, really nice and OEM looking on this kit. So I'm going to do that now, and then we'll come right back. Okay, so we've got it seated. It was fairly simple to do, and it looks very flush. You want to take your time with the plastic clips on the sides and on the top. You do not want to rush this because you don't want to damage anything. You want your clips to clip nice. You don't want to break them because you want to make sure this stays nice and tight and doesn't wiggle when it's finished, okay? So that's very important, is take your time. So the next step is in the package, wrapped very nicely in this little piece here, is the part that's going to go on the back of the screen. Now you want it oriented this way with the round hole towards the back. Okay, that's how it's going to go. But before we do that, what I got to do is feed the screen cable through, not the temperature sensor. You want to leave that one out, and we're going to plug it into the screen. Then we're going to put this back on. And once we do that, once it's all plugged in, what we're going to do, I'm having trouble doing this one-handed. When it's on, we're going to reuse the 2 torque screws we took out of the screen to put this back. Okay, so we're going to do that right now, and I'm going to get this going. I don't have a way to keep the camera videoing it while I do it, so I'm going to hook it up. I'll explain it once it's all back together. So I'll be right back. Okay, so we've got it back. The torque screws are returned. This is in. Remember to put the white keeper on here. That will make sure this doesn't accidentally unplug while you're driving or operating the vehicle. That's very important. So the next step is to lift the screen and put it onto this. This will slide into here, and then we're going to, attach this. But before, I'm going to lift this. I can't, obviously, I'm filming by myself. So I'm going to lift it on, and then the kit came with these 2 bolts with a square hex, and it came with a tool for that. So that's what we're going to, once the screen is on, it'll go under here. Well, let me show you here. It'll go in here, which would be then upward into this, and it'll bolt in. So I'm going to do that and get the screen all bolted on. So stand by. Okay, so now I've got it bolted in. It was tricky for me to line up the included screws under here. Let me see if I can get you a view of this. So to line those up, the angle they go in is a little weird for me, and it was just a kind of tricky to do. But I got it. You want to make sure everything is tight. So next thing you're going to do, the cabin temperature sensor. Depending on your model, you got to choose. Mine is the newer, it's a 21, so I'm going to have to use this one. You may have to use this one, but they're basically the same. You're just going to screw the temperature sensor onto here using the screws you used when you removed it from the previous piece it was on. And then it just snaps into place. So I'm going to do that and get it in, and then we have only one more little piece and we'll be done. So let me do that, and I will be right back. Okay, so I'm going to show you. I've got it. So it's snapped in. You have to be very careful because you don't want to damage that when you snap it in, okay? But then the last step is this piece here adheres on the back. I'm going to try to show you where it goes here. It's not easy to get the camera in, but let's see if I can do this. Let's see. So camera. Oh, there we go. Okay. So where this goes is this curved piece goes towards the wire, and this square goes in. And it goes basically, let me just make sure, it goes above the wire, and it just double sticks right here. See where that is right there? And it covers everything up. So I'm going to stick that on, and then we'll be done with the installation, and I'll show you it and to let you know what I think. So stand by while I do this. Okay, it's in, and you can now swivel it 30 degrees in either direction. and it's very tight and firm. It's not too tight to swivel, but it's really, really nice. I really like this feature. Now, as far as the height of it, I mean, I saw somewhere that it's 1.5 inches lower. I'll be honest, I don't notice that. For my eyes, it looks exactly where it was. The angle looks nice. Everything looks really great. I really, really like this one. So yeah, this is a great install. Totally love it. So yeah, I give it 2 thumbs up. It's really good. It was a little, challenging lining those bolts up at the bottom, but everything in the end is working well, looks great, and now I have the option to swivel it. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Please give this video a thumbs up so YouTube can share it and other people can see and benefit. Also, please comment. Feel free if you have any questions or anything. I answer every comment. So thanks, and we'll see you next time.